Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour Reading Show. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium, numerologist, healer, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there is always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour Reading Show, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Psychic Hour. What a fun day. We have to turn unpredictability into fun. So what a fun day. We have Steve with us on the show today. It's always a great time with him. I'm always blessed to have him on the show. He's the Cowboy psychic medium. He hails from Texas. And we'll be diving into all things psychic mediumship and energy. We'll be taking questions about just the way that energy goes down, as well as reading into your energy. So it's a pleasure and a treat to have him as a reading partner on the show. So hello, everybody coming on in. Hello, Jess. Hello, Stacia. Hello. Hello, Ma. Hello, Jennifer. Sandra, giving some shout outs as people are coming in. T. And Misty. Hello. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for your patience. We started just a little bit late, so we appreciate you being here with us. Okay, so since it's going to be a mixture of a reading show and a talk show today, I'm going to bring in Steve in just a moment. And we talk really briefly about the topic of the day sometimes right before we do that. So away we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, Teresa. Hello. Thank you. You can pop down where you are. Happy Wednesday indeed, Sandra. Thank you. The topic of the day is really meeting life by exactly where you are and starting to create your prepared list. A lot of times we are in life and we go, oh, okay, I'm just going to take the bull by the horns, or maybe, we're combating it and we go, this is where I'm at. But truly, luck favors the prepared. It really does. And in many areas in our life, we're forced to be prepared. And in other areas of our life that life does meet us, are we prepared? Our job forces us to be prepared if we work for someone else. Maybe our family forces us to be prepared if we're responsible for other people. But are we prepared for ourselves? And it's a mixture of yes and no. I am always a believer that if you put energy into something ahead of time, it rewards you. And then we build it up and we mold it and we become it. And that's really who we are in life. We are this amalgamation of energy, and we're trying to strengthen more the identity of I am and what the soul wants to be. And so we've been given certain energies before we came into this life of who we had the journey to become to be. But once we get here, it's kind of like, I feel at least, I'm not one opinion and that's it. Not at all. It's just a discussion. I do believe, then the free will takes over and it's like, great. You have that on the plate. Well, how are you going to do it? We've prepared the lesson, or we've prepared the person. We've prepared the obstacle. We prepared the moment spiritually. But how exactly are you going to show up to that? You might show up to it great. You might show up to it horrible. You might show up to it confused, disorientated. You might ace the test. And it's again never one size fits all, but how prepared is our energy? We have certain lessons where we go, oof, I guess I was good at that, or I guess I was lucky at that. But luck favors the prepared, and your energy has probably, if you got through it easy and it was a doozy, and you just kind of like had all the, you had the wisdom, or you were in the right place, or you had the right resources. It could be anything, and you go, oof, thank God. You probably have already experienced a certain type of that lesson before, so your energy knew just what to do with that. I do really believe that. I do believe we have a sense for things coming subconsciously. And I do believe sometimes it's the beauty and the grace of other people who are very prepared too, that come and swoop us up as well. So sometimes we are truly blessed by the people we have around us. But we know to keep those people close to, for a little prepared as well, with what's good energy and what feels right, and allowing. So as everyone continues to come in, hello, Marisa. Hello. Thank you. And I love how people are asking about numbers. We'll get into numbers a little bit later if you'd like to talk numbers. I'd love to hear Steve's interpretation of numbers. But thank you for the number questions. We'll get into those later. And then hello from Tyler, Texas. Hello, Linda. So with whatever that you're doing, with whatever you are working on, whether you feel naturally prepared and it is something that you have confidence in, or you feel very unprepared and you're really overwhelmed and afraid and unsure, the key word is preparedness. So make that list, start meditating, start talking to people, start getting your energy around what it's like, even in your imagination, to be prepared for whatever you are coming up against. I'm a big believer of when you put your attention on something, the way opens. Yeah, maybe it takes hours, maybe it takes months, maybe it takes years, but the way does open, and it opens more and more and more. And if you want to be prepared, if you really want to conquer, if you really want to be courageous and figure out whatever it is you're going through, because we're going through so much stuff in life. We all have these tailor-made lessons. We all have these tailor-made defeats, and also victories. It's because we showed up. We had to be present. We have to be present with how we want to tackle life. And we have to be present with how we are being prepared for so. So I wish you good consciousness. I wish you creative and patience and stamina with your creative pursuits and how you tackle it. And I wish you good faith, and I wish you heart and compassion through it. But continue showing up, become prepared, and the way will show itself. I truly believe. And the people I've talked to within my life and the people I've looked up into my life, it holds very true. So in the spirit of being prepared for what comes next, we are going to bring in Steve. Okay, so be prepared to give him a warm welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello. As you're coming on in, wish him a hello as well. Hey, Steve.
How the hell is everybody?
Exactly.
You never know what's going to come out of my mouth, so don't be surprised. I don't even know what's going to come out.
That's good. I meto
keep them guessing.
You'll never be limited by your own brain.
No, not at all.
No.
Hey, to keep going where you were going with that, I believe we sign up for these life lessons, okay, before we came down here. And about a third of this life, I believe, is predestined. Our free will is how we pass the test that we picked for ourselves to evolve our soul. Okay. and I fail probably 80% of the tests that I have daily. Okay. I mean, it's
Daily.
not close. Yeah. It's repetition. They're going like, my guides are going like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is the 200th lesson. When's he going to get it? Okay. Unconditional love, forgiveness, that kind of stuff. I'm going like, not getting it, guys. I don't know. I don't know how I even signed up for this life. Tell me what's going on. So, but we literally do sign up for this life. You pick your parents, you pick your life, you pick your soulmates, you pick the people that you have karma with, that you need to wipe out karma with and learn lessons and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not easy. If anybody could do it if it was easy, I'm telling you. Okay. Thank God I picked this planet. There's a billion other planets I could have picked. Could have been a billion other people, but I picked these life lessons to evolve my soul. So we all do that. Okay. So when the big bullshit hits us, it's like, what's the freaking lesson? How am I supposed to react to this? Oh my God. What, when people die in our lives and we get bullied and things get shut down and we're going like, okay, what the hell's the lesson? What am I supposed to learn from this? And sometimes it's just survival. Hey, you made it. Okay. We made it. All right. You witnessed it. Okay. So if you witness particularly stuff with someone, if I know somebody that has cancer and I know what they go through and the chemo and the radiation and the pain and suffering they do, I missed out on that lesson. Okay. Because I feel compassion for the people that go through that now. Okay. For the compassion for people that lose children. I know what it's like to lose your best pet, your favorite pet, so that's part of the deal is in my life lessons, learning compassion, and sometimes there's just so much stuff and it's real easy to figure out what you came down here for. Okay. Patience, one of my big ones, forgiveness. I ain't gonna learn it in this life, baby.
What? No, you just said compassion. You have a component.
I do. For certain people, for the weak people, for the children, for the animals, for the people. I hate bullies. I was picked on as a kid. I was the 98-pound weakling with asthma and got picked on and bullied there. And then when I was a senior in high school and I kind of got over my asthma and I started boxing and got my self-confidence, I'm going like, then I grew, first year in college, I'm 6'3", 190 pounds. By God, I don't got to take this crap from anyone else,
No.
So then that's the biggest thing I'll fly off the handle. If I see someone bullying somebody else, I'll say, oh, time out. Yeah, not on my watch. Okay. And obviously that's something I needed to learn in this life. So when you start looking at your life through the microscope and going like, what the hell did I come down here to learn? And like patience is one of them, forgiveness, unconditional love. Not going to learn that one in this lifetime either. Okay. I know my next life, there's going to be other tests, there's test after test. And this is what's so sad. I picked these freaking tests. Okay. And my spirit guides knew I was going to fail these, but failing was a lesson in itself. Yeah.
I think we come to this school to fail. People think that you have to go through life at a certain sequential stage. Like, okay, we graduate and go. No, we're literally made. That's the only way we can learn. It's the only way we can learn. And well, you're thinking about unconditional love, Steve. So it's working.
It's a start.
It's a start.
Yeah.
Peaks and valleys.
Just think about, so if we're part of the Great Spirit, if we're part of God, there's 8 billion people on this earth alone. He knows what every one of us is going through. Okay. he wants to experience all that stuff in all these different personalities that we are, so, and then we're all part of the one big evolution of the soul. There's one big, if we're the sun, like John Edward, if we're the sun, there's a reason for it. And once you start writing down, it's real easy. Just start writing down everything that you're not good at. Okay. That's what I'm supposed to learn in this life. Okay. Just write it down. And then you're going like, oh, so that's why this shit keeps on happening to me. When am I going to get it? Step out of yourself and look at yourself like you're in the movie and going like, dummy, don't do that again. Don't open the closet door. For God's sakes, there's a killer there.
So to have a little perspective of what's going on, where I guess our deficits are, I think even in the places that we're good, we have craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness.
And you're never going to be, it's never perfection. You're never going to hit. And if you're a perfectionist like I was, and I had a psychologist tell me, Jesus Christ, give that up, man. Get to 90% is an A on the test. Once you get to 95%, quit. Just quit, because you're going to kill yourself trying to get 100% every time. So right now, my levels is like, 70% is a C. That's passing.
Yeah.
If I can get 70% on these tests, hey, I'm tickled to death. I'm a good, solid CB student in high school. Okay. So that's, 70 is nothing to sneeze about. And maybe I don't have to repeat that lesson if I get a 70,
Oh, let us hope. I think everything is constantly repeating. And it's just like, we don't even sometimes realize it because of stuff that we're involved in. Some of it just feels like a breeze, and everything's just kind of like, there's this rhythm of life going on. And we just go, oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh, I really noticed that one. What the heck is that? Oh, God, life feels good. Oh, that feels horrible. So we're getting like, jostled left and right. I want to make sure I give you, it's haphazard, but I want to make sure I give you an introduction, Steve, for everybody really quickly coming on. And
they're going, who in the hell is this guy?
Perspective, right? Just like life. So Steve Spur is the cowboy psychic hailing from the South State of Texas. He's a straight shooting psychic medium with a down-to-earth approach and a knack for healing messages, with a passion to learn and help others. Steve shares his journey of how it all began, where he was told by 4 psychic mediums when he first started that he should take the red pill, the red path, with how the indigenous people of the Americas use their abilities, medicine signs, and rituals to nurture their spirituality. Like the Red Eagle quote, like the Red Eagle quote on the front page, I'm just going to say it. I asked God, and that's what you say, Great Spirit, to give me visions, to show me the way. I ask him to make medicine, my spiritual gifts, good, and to make the medicine strong. He continued to study with the best of the best, growing, and yes, he's been talking to dead people for more than 15 years now. It doesn't matter what religion you were raised in, believing or atheist, he's just a radio for the dead. He works for the other side to give you your messages. His angels and guides show him in slow motion with the movies in his head once you believe in survival after death.
Where do you go?
Yeah,
if you know you can't die. And that's the thing when people come to me, because I was an atheist, okay, before I had my accident. All right. So I'm going like, this is all bullshit. All right. So God, heaven, all that. I'm going like, so when people say, hey, you're full of shit, Steve, there's no such thing as psychic mediums. I go, brother, that's what I thought. Oh my God. I hope it didn't happen to you. What happened to me?
You don't miss a beat. It cut off apparently because today is so funny with the energy. I'm just giving you just one little bit of grace left. Once you believe in survival after death, how will you live your life? Our job here is to live, love, and learn. So later we can teach, serve, and evolve. Straight from you, Steve. I just got
There
to
you
give it
go.
to you. There
There
you
you
go.
go. And that's the only, if the only lesson, the only thing, and just because someone says they're psychic medium, I tell them, I'm like a gunslinger, show me what you got, buddy. Yeah, everybody has a grandmother that's dead. Yeah, she loved me. Maybe she didn't, but hey, I want critical stuff, names, birth dates, things that happen that nobody else knows in the family. That's my goal, is always to be the best evidential medium. Gordon Smith, an evidential medium. John Edwards, an evidential medium. Like when you sit down with them after 15 minutes, you're going like, shit, there's no way anyone else could know that. You can't make this stuff up. He's telling me stuff that only certain members of my family knew, or that are dead now, and nobody knew, particularly the embarrassing stuff I love to bring through. The time you got caught smoking pot by your mom, she's wanting to bring that up right now. And it was on this date at this time, and you were so-and-so. They're going like, holy shit, that's mom. Okay. You can't die. You can't die. So once oh crap, maybe if we can't die, maybe there's reincarnation. Oh shit. I don't know a single medium that doesn't believe in it, but it's still a hard hurdle to, if you're a Bible thumping Baptist in East Texas right now, you're going like, what? Reincarnation? Let me look that up on Wikipedia, Oh my God. So we got to repeat these life lessons, and we're doing all the picking. We got a spirit guide that guides us on our checklist. That's the only reason he's here, to keep us, inside the lanes of the bowling alley. We pick all these life lessons. So once you can't die, well, that's kind of scary now. What am I doing the rest of my life? Am I in heaven right now? Which I believe we are, all of us. My higher self. Every time you go to sleep at night, you check in with your spirit guides, your loved ones, and then you wake up and you got amnesia every morning. Jesus, what what did I say to them? What did I say to myself? So I think that's the biggest thing a medium could do, is just bring through your loved ones, so hey, they're living around us all the time. What's scary is they can see everything. They can hear everything. I can tell you phone conversations you had with friends 3 days ago, because someone on the other side is telling me what you said on the phone. And it's like, oh my God, are you tapping my phone? What the hell? But they just want to give you proof. So number one, you can't die. You're not going to die a billionaire. Okay. All you got is the good things that you did. So the first thing I did, I didn't get a reading till I was 40. Okay. And the medium brought through both of my grandfathers by name, told me what they did for a living, told me what I did for a living. And at the time I was running a business office at the airport. So, I wasn't a country guy that he would have said, oh, you got a farm and you got horses. No, didn't have that at the time, So when he knocked my socks off like that, I'm going like, holy shit, my grandfathers can see everything I've done the last 40 years. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I let them down. I didn't live to the code, of treating people as equals and being nice and stuff like that, and I'm going like, oh crap. So now, that it really counts. Everything you do in this life counts. How are you going to live your life? You going to open the door for that little old lady that's ahead of you at the grocery store? Hell yeah. It's no skin off my nose. What do I care? It's a karma point, somewhere during the day, you've got like a pinball machine that's shooting up thousands of karma points a day that you're not even familiar with. Okay. Good deeds that you're doing. And it's just like, oh man, I wish I could see my totals. I wonder if I'm ahead in the game, or if I'm still in a deficit in the rest of my life. I'm digging out of this hole. But do the right thing. Do the best you can with what you got. You can't fail. It's an experience. I signed up for this experience.
I think so.
Do I like how the election went? Do I like how history's handled? You know, no, not necessarily. But we picked COVID. We picked COVID to come down here too. I picked. My friends' daddies were in Vietnam and died in Vietnam and were prisoners of wars. Did I pick this life to experience that with them? What did we pick and how did we do it? We knew, believe it or not, we know every single thing's going to happen to us in this lifetime. We know the date we're going to die. We know the time we're going to die. And it is what it is. Experience it. Watch it like a movie and just go, what the hell? Never going to live that one again.
Do you believe we have options though? Because some people experience, I guess, exits where they have the option to come back in.
I think so. I think sometimes when you sign that life contract, you say, okay, I want to die somewhere around 82 years old. However's the easiest way and helps the most amount of people. Okay. That might be getting hit by a bus on Main Street. Okay.
Yeah.
And people are going like, whoa, I'm never going to jaywalk like that cowboy did again. Whatever the lesson is, and whether it's tragic or if it raises the consciousness of people, with being murdered by somebody that you're supposed to have been trusting, and just going like, what's the lesson? What's the life lesson? But I do think sometimes I had a little boy come through for me. It was 11 years old that died of anaphylactic shock in the emergency room because his stepdaddy had given him a candy bar that had peanuts in it. And he didn't realize it had peanuts in it. But the stepdad was supposed to experience that guilt, the overwhelming guilt, almost to the point of suicide, And the young man told me, he said, that's okay. It didn't, that's not, but that's besides the point. If I didn't die that away, the next day we would have got T-boned in a stop sign that you ran and I would have died that away. So the guilt would have still been there, or we would have, done this and the guilt the lesson was the guilt for you. And now you're released from that karma. You're released from that. What did you learn from it? And go on. So the little boy, he, I'm sure he reincarnated 3 or 4 days later, 3 or 4 years later, and living the dream, living the life,
I think that, we make it so painful because we can't help but think this is it.
Poor me. I'm suffering.
Yeah. This is it. This is my hand in life. And it doesn't change. I can't change. We have every moment to change. Even though we've signed up for things, we have every moment to change and to, again, you're talking about the karma points, to feel into what really matters, because this isn't all that is it. This is just the framework. This is just the framework for us to get it.
Yep. I've had people ask me, some older clients, some people that are so grieved about suicide. So if I took my own life, Steve, what would happen? I said, well, time out. So number one, you got a losing hand. We're playing the football game. We're down 40-12. You play it down to the last second. You play out to the last card. You play out the game till it's the very end, because there's still life lessons that we're trying to learn. There's things. You might be on your deathbed in the hospital. The doctor and the nurses are passing out karma and learning from your death and the people around you and everything. Play out the last card, because I believe if you do commit suicide and it wasn't in your life contract to do that, you go back to go. I mean, you reincarnate back into a life that's going to experience all the same pains and suffering that you've already done. So pretend that's water under the bridge. That's spilt milk. Keep on going forward and play out the losing hand, knowing that you're going to lose, know that you're in pain and suffering. play out that last card though, because you never know. I want to know, the surprise. I want to know how it's gonna play out. And maybe the day before you die, you win the lotto. What are you going to do with that
Yeah.
$90 million?
It's right.
Pass
It's
it on to the people
unlikely.
that need it.
It's unlikely, but you never know what's going to happen. And, when it's important to talk about this subject, because a lot of people are going through mental health stuff and they think,
Yep.
well, this is it. It's not worth it. And they really, people lose faith. People lose faith. And I mean, I know people around me that are just powerhouses going through stuff. We're all human. I go through stuff, you go through stuff. And if we didn't have purpose within our lives, the sheer magnitude of just the human experience, it will take you to those places.
Yep. Sure will.
That's a part of life.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. If before you learn to really live, you're going to experience, before you value life, you're going to experience the opposite.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And in its many forms. And oh my gosh, what was I going to say? Regardless, it is important to instill the faith within people's life, because I love what you said. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm going to hand it back to you with that. I had something else to say that was important, but it flew out of my head for sure.
It'll come back. My wife always says, "You'll remember it in a minute." And my little granddaughter say, "No, we won't remember that, Mimi. We won't. It won't come back." I love seeing the eyes, life through the eyes of a kid. Okay. And I've got one little 10-year-old granddaughter that's like Amy Schumer. She's the most sarcastic she's such an old soul. We were playing Uno together at the table the other day. My 13-year-old and 10-year-old granddaughters, they bring a knife and a gun to play Uno. Okay. They are serious. They'll drop a +4 card on G-Paul and not even blink. Sorry about your pinchy luck, Steve. G-Paul, here, pick 4. I'm going like, oh my God, who are these little monsters that I helped raise? So, but to see life through other people's eyes is really important. And I think we get to do that as mediums a whole lot more. And going like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I'm not this person and went through what they went through in their life. Whoa, they had it 10 times, 20 times harder than I ever thought about having a hard life. Oh, they're a lot higher soul than I am. And I bring through, and I read for a lot of people that are on a higher level than I am. Okay. I'm just the medium. I'm just the mailman, the radio, giving the message. And I'm going like, oh, these people are like Jesus-like compared to, the where I'm at on the ladder, and I believe that's why we're trying to always evolve our soul. Every life lesson, we're trying to evolve to be the best to be Buddha-like, to be Jesus-like. Okay. To be the best and experience everything. And we're going to get to experience everything that's ever happened in the world. And I don't believe that the timeline is from beginning to end. I believe it's circular. If you want to reincarnate back to the Civil War in the next life, you can do that. If you want to reincarnate back to tribal times in the Old West in the 1500s, you can do that. If you want to go 1,000 years into the future when we're all wearing gas masks down here, okay, and doing where it's like in the movies, I think that's possible. And don't be anxious for that, because we're going to get to pick. We're going to get to do it all.
I do believe that. Jesse says it's like a spiral, and I do believe in that configuration as well. You reminded me kind of earlier when we were talking about like lessons and karma, and sometimes people, just fold their cards. And with energy, I believe everything happening to us, constructs what like reality is. Like we pull lessons in, but we also pull like reality. We create reality based on the energy around us, and it's just a constant co-creation. So if you go, I give up, but that's your energy, it's just who you are, you can't help but live the next life the exact way. You
Exactly.
can't help
Till you get it. Till you get it.
till you get it, because it's literally you. It's
Right.
literally just you. If you go, you know, you look in the mirror and you say, of course, it's not as shallow as this, but you go, I have brown hair. So when people, you know, look at me, they'll say, oh, you're so and so with brown hair. It's just because it's a part of your energy. It's just
Right.
who you, and you are creating it. It's not just an image. It's actually the embodiment of everything that you are. So even if you got kind of sneaky and you tried to choose something different, you're still going to get exactly the same.
The still. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe everybody is born psychic. Everybody. It's 6 senses that you're born with. Some are naturals that have been psychics and mediums their entire lives, and others like me had to fall out of the attic with a heat stroke and bang my head on the concrete, you know, and then get a gift that I did not even want. Couldn't see, you know, what's the benefit of being a medium. But now I think, what have I done? Okay, if this is part of a test, what have I done in my last lives? You know, like I believe I was in the SS in the Germany back during World War II and killed millions of people. Okay, now I'm given back in the Native American times, I killed so many Native Americans, you know, indigenous. So maybe I'm a medium, and every reading that I'm given, and I've given thousands and thousands of readings, maybe that's part of my repayment plan. I'm helping this person. Believe it or not, I killed them 20 lives or 30, 40 lives ago. And this is just trying to make up for some of that karma and to help them out, you know? And maybe that's why I was stuck in this being a medium when, you know, the 7 years I learned how to be a medium after that accident. I could have spent that time getting a PhD in college. You know, I could have finished my master's, and I could have been teaching history at University of Oklahoma right now, you know, but that wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan. I promise you, you're going to meet your soulmate. You're going to meet the people in your life you're supposed to meet. I don't believe in chance or coincidence at all. I mean, we have free will, but some of the stuff is predestined. How we react to it is what our lesson is how we're supposed to learn. I keep on failing those lessons in this life, by God. But when you write it down and you're going like, okay, if I just learn a little self-control, maybe I won't flip off that guy that cuts me off in traffic next time. If I can just learn that lesson to self-control a little bit, you know, which got me killed in how many lives that I didn't have self-control, you know, back in the old days. So maybe, you know, maybe that's what the lesson. Start thinking about why this bad shit is happening to you. What are you supposed to learn from it? What are you supposed? And if you write it down, if you journal it, and your mind can see it, your subconscious is going to go, oh, Jesus, that's the lesson. I get that now. I'm supposed to learn unconditional love this lifetime. I'm supposed to learn patience in this lifetime. I'm supposed to learn forgiveness. You know, those are my 3 big ones. So I'm going like, oh God, please help me. You know, I want to learn, you know, I want to learn those lessons so I don't have to experience this crap in the next life. Guess what? I'm still going to get many of these lessons in the next life. I just hope I get them better, you know?
Yeah. And once you get it, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you because you look back at you're talking about your past lives. I know in my past lives, we were humans, so we did messed up stuff. It's guaranteed.
Everybody screws up.
It's guaranteed.
You know, nobody, if you start thinking about, I want to be rich and famous in the next life, hell no. You know, I want to be a little Buddhist monk in Thailand with a half bowl of rice every day and let me think about, you know, myself and meditation and and evolving myself, to reach nirvana,
Hell no. No, Nirvana, I think sounds ridiculous, but when you actually experience things like it, it's rather beautiful. It's rather beautiful. I mean, we just want to have the flexibility to do all the things that we do, and we have to have a certain vibrational state to achieve that. So it's like, it's not that it's like, oh, like we're going to ascend. It's just like, now we know how to do it, and we're not just pissed off all the time. Like, there's fires, explosions, but we're like, it's great.
We get it. We get
part
it.
of the process.
Yep.
It's part of the process.
Part
And
of the
gosh,
process.
there are a lot of explosions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, and yeah, and my heart goes out to everybody as we're figuring it out, because we need it. We need it.
I mean, even just because we talk to dead people, we're supposed to know all this shit. No, it's not right.
No.
I'm not the smartest person in the room. I can guarantee my little 10-year-old granddaughter is way more evolved than I am. And that's something I learned. My 13-year-old granddaughter is like Jesus. She's the most compassionate soul I've ever met in my life. And I've lived from coast to coast and worked every single job. I've met thousands and thousands of people. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I'm not the hub of the wheel. I'm not the wheel. I'm one little spoke in this wheel. In this life, it is my job to help give them a leg up to whatever they're going to do, cure cancer or give faith back into humanity or whatever they're going to do. But that's what, like maybe my grandfather opened my eyes in this life, and his death, meant a lot to me. That opened my eyes, and he taught me right from wrong. Didn't always do it. Didn't know anyone's watching, tell you the truth. Oh shit, they can see everything. But now open the eye. If there was someone in your life that opened your eyes and made you think outside the box, oh, maybe there is a right and wrong. Maybe there is unconditional love. Why though? Why do I got to love that person that is doing such mean, crappy shit? Because you're going to be that person in one of these lives. I guarantee it. If you hadn't already been, I hope I've got all the negative, dirty lives out of the past. I want to do good now,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be rich and famous. I don't want to be the NFL quarterback that wins the Super Bowl. Oh no. I mean, I can, if I just get one good laugh out of a TV show during the hour, I'm like, I won the lotto there. It made me laugh,
I think, yeah. We just have to show up. We just have to show up and take it.
And experience it. Experience it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's not all going to be bad and ugly. There's going to be a few times that you're going to really have the time of your life, and focus on that. Focus on the good stuff. Focus on the good things that you want to experience in this life. Experience the good things other people have. I don't got to be a millionaire to live in my mind as a million. I got everything I want. I got 2 pair of jeans, 2 pair of boots, about 10 shirts. I'm happy. I'm happy with my wardrobe. I don't have to be decked out, as a millionaire would and stuff like that. But I can appreciate that. That makes them feel happy. I'm not gonna, say, hey, you don't deserve that or whatever. Who am I to say that? Think on a bigger level and try to be the bigger person. And that is so hard too. I mean, I struggle every day, and I know everybody else does too. Okay. Be the best Steve Spur I can be at this time and place with what I have and the gifts that I have. I sure as hell can give some good advice sometimes. So spend that freely. I can bring through dead people and prove to people that you can't die, use that when you can. So, and everyone has their special gifts. Everybody does, the gift of kindness, the gift of forgiveness, teachers, for God's sakes. I couldn't imagine being an elementary school teacher today, having to
Yeah.
explain all that stuff to kids and the low pay and the long hours. And these people are, oh my God, they're saviors. Jesus, all the things they go through, oh my God, please don't let me be a teacher in another lifetime, because I don't think I could handle that.
I think you're a teacher right now. You can't escape it.
I preach a lot. I know that.
I think you're a preacher and a teacher. Yeah, we can't run from ourselves. We can't run from ourselves. And if we want, like, let's say, the fame and fortune, or you're talking about like being a quarterback, we're just joking here. If you really want those things, you got to look inside yourself and go, why the hell do I want these things? And you're going to keep bumping into some type of weird lesson, pain, occurrence until you get your head straight and your soul straight of why you even wanted that in the first place. If you really wanted it and it brings you joy, enjoy it. Why not? Right?
Yeah.
But
sure.
like, why are we doing the things that we're doing? Why are we loving the people that we love? Why are we wanting to have the goals? Why
are we experiencing that?
Just
why am I not better looking? I ask myself that time every day. I wake up in the mirror and look, Jesus,
we're alchemists, Steve.
I'm a granddaughter. What you need to trim your mustache, G Paul. I'm going like, no, it doesn't need. She goes, I can't see your upper lip. I'm going like, you're not supposed to see it. Okay. It's just, that's how I am. That's how I'm made, and I do that to people all the time. I judge people. We're not supposed to judge other people. Come on, man, because you're going to be that other person that's judged, that you're being judged, It's hard life. It is hard life, kids.
It always is. I'm a firm believer of, you can channel what you need. It's not going to show up like you expect, but if someone's
you got to ask for it. Well, I tell everybody, you got spirit guides, you've got angels, you got your loved ones on the other side. You got to ask for help. They're not allowed just to give you, the winning lotto number. Okay. You got to ask, start out small. I'd like to win $10 in the lotto, please. Okay. There you go. Here's your ticket.
You know what?
So you got to ask for help.
Go ahead.
You got to ask for the help.
That strangely does work for me, though. Like, if I go, I need this amount for this reason, whether it comes from, just like daily life or doing something where, of course, you get money coming to you. Like, let's say you have a client and a job, whatever. But there's been many times where I get like, I'll like I don't go to Vegas very much. I really don't. But the handful of times that I've been here, I'm like,
I worked at the racetrack for 15 years now. I've only gambled about 8 times. Okay.
Well, I will say this, and I'll ask you as well. When I've said, okay, I need this amount, and it won't be a large amount. It just won't. And I'll be like, I feel like it's a good time to bet now. And then I'll just do it. And the first time I do it, I'll get what I need. And I've learned, like, past that, don't push it, because you didn't ask for it.
And your desire was met. You manifested that. You were supposed to learn that lesson. It's okay to ask for things. I don't ask to be rich or famous, but, let me get by the week, let me get by this year. God, let me live past February so I can see if Kansas City wins another Super Bowl. Okay. After that, I'm yours. Okay. But let me see how the end of Yellowstone, finishes out. Don't take me before that. Okay.
People love Yellowstone.
So I'm just curious. Be curious of how everything's going to end. You don't got to be part of the solution or whatever. I just want to see how everything's going to end, how everything's going to play out. That's reason enough to last and live till the end of your life.
There's plenty to experience. There's plenty to experience. And I really do believe in if you ask, you shall receive, sometimes in the obvious fashion and
On their
not.
schedule. It might be heavenly schedule, it might be spiritual schedule, you know?
I've had exactly, and I've had so I'm a very curious person. I just am. And I'll ask. I'm like, "Hey, can I experience this or see this?" And they've shown me they've given me the winning lottery tickets before. Sure, I didn't go and I didn't write them down myself. I didn't go and, purchase the ticket. But I was like, "Let's see if we can do it, right?"
What's it? Yeah. Yep.
Right? And anything is possible.
Anything.
Exactly. And I'm too busy with the stuff right in front of me to be just jerking life around trying to get
That we can't
the
see down the
lottery
block.
number.
We can't see a half mile down the road because we're just, we're with the stuff that all the stuff we think's important. It's in our face that we're going like, hey, clear this out a little bit. Try to see long-term effect, I love it when there's a chain smoker I'm talking to and she's wanting to know how long she's going to live. I'm going like, what the hell, man? How long have you been smoking? Oh, ever since I was 13. I'm going like, okay, do you want to live a little longer? How about if you?
Oh, you froze. We got to get you
But
back.
hey, I'm just gonna give you a hint,
Yeah, anything's possible. That's what I think. Like, uh, if you want to learn, like, how can I put this? If you want to learn, but you don't necessarily have to have it happen to you, because I think that takes to experience something to happen to you within life. Like, let's say if you want to be the singer, or you want to have this a really certain relationship, or you want to go to Europe. I don't know. I'm just thinking about anything lofty.
Right,
All those are
right.
possible. All those are
The bucket list,
possible.
the bucket list stuff.
A bucket list. That's fine. That's all game. That's all possible. But if you just with spirit say, show me what it's like, I just show me the energy. You will actually probably receive and seek a form of that. You won't get exactly like you end up in Europe, but you get all the energetic qualities of it, where literally you can experience anything you want. And after you get the energetic quality, not the embodiment, you could go, okay, do I really want this? And if you still want it, well then dang, you probably got the formula for it. So go get it.
Exactly. I've never been to Europe. I've been to New York City. I've been to Chinatown. I've been to Little Italy. I've been into all the different neighborhoods. Hey, that was like going to Europe for me. Okay. All those different personalities and livelihoods and stuff like that. Hey, sometimes your prayers are going to be answered a different way than what you thought they're going to be answered. And that's okay.
Exactly. It's honestly the feeling and the energy rather than just the way the package looks. I've never been to Europe. I live in California. There's a place called Laguna Beach, like, a ways down, and it is a gorgeous, picturesque beach, and people that come
Different
and will
world.
say, oh wow, it looks like just like Europe, just like parts of Europe. And I see pictures and I go, oh yeah, that looks, and it's just like there's so many things where you don't have to have it the exact way. I'm really connected to food. I'm super connected to food. I love making things. I love learning about food. I could probably find you a dozen restaurants if I've never been to Europe that's going to taste like you've been to Europe. And frequently I've brought people like, let's go try this. This is a good place. Wow, it tastes exactly like, and people go, you've been around the world, right? Or I'll order things off of menus because I know the energy. I know what's good. I mean, I have so many different reference points where I can get in that energy real easy. And they go, wow, you know what to order. Have you been there? No, never been there in my life. It's there's no one way to do it.
Yeah. I believe, like I said before, everyone's born psychic. And like I tell people, number one, your dad's blinking lights in your house. Okay. That's not the electric company. I promise. That is him saying, I love you. So if you're watching a movie and he's bugging the shit out of you, blinking the lights, just say, I love you back. We're watching the movie. Come back later. Okay. And that happened. I tell people, you're so sensitive, you don't even know when they're around you. Some of it's like you may feel a little tingling in the back of your head where they're touching your hair. That little kind of electricity that you feel, that's your loved ones. Okay. I tell people, like, you know what it's like when you're in the grocery store or you're at the ticket window at the movie theater and someone is right on your heels and you turn around and say, hey, brother, a little personal space, please. Okay. Just because you can feel them hovering around you, that's what it's like when your loved ones come to visit. Okay. You feel that little, there's no coincidence. If I think about my grandfather, he pinged me from heaven. That's not random. That's not, you're not bringing this up. They're checking in on you. Okay. If you're thinking about a loved one that has crossed over, that's not by coincidence or chance. They're pinging you going like, oh, wonder how Steve's doing. I wonder how Kelly's doing right now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They're doing good. And then you just go on with what you're doing, but there's no, they're always around. They can see you. It's like they're in a room with 50 TV screens on. They know every football game that's on. They know what every person in the family's doing right now. They know what the dogs are doing. And believe it or not, they can see the future too. They know what's going to happen to us. They can't tell me that. Sometimes they'll tell me some little stuff like you're not supposed to experience that little thing of skin cancer on your head. Go get that burned off.
Yeah.
And so they'll tell you that. You're going like, oh, I never thought about that. Yeah, I'll go get that checked out, So some things you're not supposed to experience and they'll find a way to let you know that. But I don't want to go to a psychic just to learn the future because it's so open-ended. Don't tell me what's coming. I don't want to know what's coming. I don't want to know how I'm going to die, for God's sakes. Come on, man.
Hopefully it's after Yellowstone. I mean,
after Yellowstone and after the Super Bowl, and I'm good, guys. I mean,
stop saying.
But don't let me get caught up again, in something else because I'm just going to want to live a little bit longer to find out how that turns out. I kind of like to see my granddaughters get married, but that's not built in stone. I can do that from the other side. That's okay. And that's the way they feel about it when you're doing. And I tell people, if me and you live to be 100 years old and we're back in heaven, and I see you, Kelly, I'm going like, oh, it's just been 2 weeks. Yeah, I've only been away from you for 2 weeks. All your loved ones. It's only been 2 weeks. There's no time in heaven. 100 years here is maybe a couple of months, 2 months most in heaven. You remember everything. That's why I ask people to wait a couple of months till you're kind of into your grieving enough to recognize what your loved ones are telling me. I don't want you calling me up a week after someone dies. You're not in a space to hear what they got to tell you and remember it for good. Give me 3 months. Give me 3 months and your loved ones are going to come through like FM dial, So don't be in a hurry and pick your times and places. And when you're ready to receive the message, you're going to get it, and you're going to get, and it's not me. It's how good your loved ones are. You give them a little bit more time to remember how to talk to a medium, then your message is going to be a lot stronger. I'm going to hear them in FM and I'm not going to hear them cutting out on AM and going like, okay, I got a name. It starts with VR. I don't know if that's Brad or what the name is, or maybe you need a new bra or something. I don't know, but I'm only getting that. If give me a little bit more time, in 2 months, come back and I'm going to go, oh, it was Bradley. Who the hell's Bradley? Oh, that was my stepdad, that kind of deal.
Yeah. There's so many people in heaven that it does literally take time, I think, as a sitter, a receiver, a family member getting a reading to understand who is all over there at the other side and who's your team and who's looking out for you. I mean, because my goodness, like you could have the best reading in the world and it's your grandma and the whole reading could for all I know, it could be how she's hanging around with her best friend, and they're the tag team, and they're watching Out for You in Heaven, and you're like, who's this other lady? I'd never heard of her in my life, because
then you call your mom
your
and
grandma's
ask
40,
her.
you know what I mean?
You call your mom and ask her, who the hell's that lady? Oh, that was your grandma's best friend. That was her hairdresser. Yeah. That was her bowling partner on the bowling team. And then it's just another thing that goes, oh, there's no way Kelly knew that. There's no way she could have predicted that, So I love it. I mean, every reading I love, because it's just like a different radio station, a different TV show that I'm watching when I bring through your loved ones. I never know what the shit they're going to say.
No, you never do.
And the wilder they are, I've had a guy smoking a joint, drinking a Budweiser, leaning on his 1970 Dodge Charger, going like, hey, buddy, you're cool as hell. Okay. I'm going to buy you a beer when you come over here. And then he just spills the beans and tells you everything about your family history that you know about. You're going like, Jesus, that was my brother. Oh my God, you had him down to the T, to the exact way he would say things and everything. I'm going like, that's your brother. I'm just listening in. Okay. I'm just repeating what I hear. That's him doing that. So to prove to you, he's with you, he's helping you out. One other real quick thing. How can you talk to dead people if there's reincarnation? I get that asked a lot. Me and you are in heaven right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm talking to. My grandfather's reincarnated. He might be in 2 or 3 different lives right now, but he's still in heaven, and I can talk to him. Okay. And I can talk to my dad and talk to my mom, even though they're already reincarnated in another part in the world, and they're living with another family at this time, but I can still bring through the person that you wanted to hear from, because they're in heaven right now.
Yes. No, I agree. I don't think, how can I put it? I mean, just the concept of, sometimes I've heard people talk about like Jesus, God, just holy people. They have the ability to be in more places than just their physical body. They have the ability to do more than what's physically possible and be in more places than just one. And it's just like, well, the soul would be able to do that, and the soul does that anyway, because your mom might be in another state, and then your kid or your grandkid might be in another state, and your heart's both places. You're going, mom's having a good day, granddaughter's having a nervous day. You're already in both places. And then you're in the future freaking about something else too. You're in multiple places.
Hey, the past life regressionist Dolores Cannon believes that we may be living like 1,000 different scenarios of this life. Say, I have a high school sweetheart I break up with. Well, in one, that kind of breaks off to a river. One life I'm living, I broke up with her. But the next, if it keeps on going, I married her and we had 3 kids. But in this case, I got fired from this job. There's another river that breaks off that I experienced, but I'm also still at this job for 50 years. And it just goes up like that. So I can understand where that's coming from, and her being a past life regressionist and stuff like that. It just blows my mind. All I'm going to do is concentrate on this life and be the best person I can, and try not to disappoint my grandfather any more than I already have. Okay.
Yes.
Because, I know my guides are going like, Jesus Christ, how did we get this guy? Steve, you can do a little bit better than this. Oh my God, how we've gone through this time and time again. We had the talk before you incarnated in this. Okay. You can do better.
I think you got to pat yourself on the back, Steve. I think it's going well.
I've come this far. I made it this far. Okay.
Exactly. How well? I don't know, but it's going well. So give yourself
at this time and place, and maybe you're not in a well place right now, but by God, manifest it next week at a certain time and place. I want to to feel happy. I want to feel joy again. I want to laugh at a comedian, you know?
Yeah. Yes, it's imperative. I agree. We have been naturally talking for a very long time. We're gonna sprinkle a couple quick
Sure.
readings in the mix, and then if you ever want to, we'll just focus maybe on
Just doing ratings if you want.
Yeah, in the future we'll get back in some other way, even if I have to pay you, my man.
No, just shut the hell up, Steve. This time we're gonna do ratings now.
I'm being funny with you back, but
my wife. Just be like my wife. Will you shut up for a minute so I can talk? Just say that, okay?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so we'll just do a couple short ones, and then we'll have Steve back if you'll have us. So okay. So let's open up this space. So everyone who is open to receiving a reading, just let us know you'd like to have one. That's how you consent. And whether Steve chooses your name or I choose your name, we'll pick you through that. It's just who we feel drawn to, where we're going. Okay. If you can put down a question or just say general, that lets us know how we can help too sometimes. And that's how we'll do it. And so I'll be tuning in however I tune in. I am primarily psychic with how I like to tune in. And if I get something with mediumship, I'm happy to connect to a loved one too as well. Steve, how will you be tuning in?
If there's a relationship you'd like to hear from, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, spouse, child, just say that. Just say the relationship, and I'll see if I can tune into them.
Okay. All right. So you heard it. If we choose you, please say the relationship that you're looking to connect with in the name as well. So, okay.
Not the name. Not the name.
Oh, not the name. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
do not listen and do what I just said.
Proof. That's part of the proof.
Okay. Not the name. I don't know why I heard that like that. I'm so sorry. Okay. So just the relationship. Okay. So, all right, we're going to open up the space. Steve, if you are connected to any names, let me know. I'll jump in if I'm connected to as well.
I don't see any of the names where the people. You pick somebody and ask them what they want, and we'll tag team them if you like.
Okay, sure. We'll do it like that. Okay, I'll follow your lead. So we have a bunch of people. If you can see comments, let me know. If you can't, I'm going to bring some options up on screen. So we have Jesse, grandma. We have ma, friends, partner from Jennifer McCormick. So it's honestly however you feel connected. Like
go with Jennifer. Start with Jennifer.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Jennifer. Oh, excuse me. There's more than one Jennifer. So we have best friend, and then we have partner as well.
Let's go partner.
Okay. Let's do it. All right. So, okay. I know a little bit about Jennifer's story, and I'm making sure I get down to. You're welcome, Jennifer. Okay. I know a little bit about Jennifer's story, so I'm going to open up just kind of to inviting in what I don't know. Okay. Right. So as I bring your partner in, and I might just tune into your life too. It's honestly whatever I get. A lot of time I feel like I'm brought back to the living room. And I keep seeing, because I want to go with partner, but I just keep seeing a space too first. So there's the couches, there's like there's one like couch, either it's your favorite or his favorite, but I just feel like you sitting in it and you're thinking and you're working with your children and you're helping them get ready in the morning. And where the places that you frequently sit with your family are the kitchen in this place, and there's this big like window or screen door. I think it's a screen door, and like the music is coming in. So like I just Unchained Melody if you're familiar with Unchained Melody, I feel like that song comes in. I know that you're attached to music, but I've never heard that song for you. But Unchained Melody, and it's just like you get the kids ready in the morning, and then you hear calls from the kids at night with how they're doing. The other ones that are older, and like everything revolves around where the couches are, and the screen door, and the kitchen. There's so much that goes into it, and it's almost like when you go up, excuse me, where I'm just making sure, his chair, yes, and you sit in his chair now. So it's like it's his chair, but then you sit in there now, and it's like you draw strength from this chair, you draw strength from this love. And I feel like when you go into your room, it's interesting because it's like your room is still like his and yours room. So I've never felt this before for you either. But there's how much love and happiness. I feel like there's still this kind of this heaviness in the bedroom. There's this heaviness of it's like so much love, but so much grief. And sometimes you don't prefer to stay here. That's why you're out in the other places. And it's almost like he comes and hugs you in every room of the house. And it's like with the music, with the candles, or with like whether it's incense or essential oil, he wants you to pump kind of new life into that room. He wants you to kind of open up the windows too in that room. I feel like, again, there's like things are more closed in the bedroom. And you said the bedroom is the hardest. Yeah, he wants you to open up the light in the bedroom, figuratively and metaphorically, because he's like, there's so much love in there, but there has to be so much happiness too as well. And he wants you to return to that. So I'll continue to feel into it. He's sending you flowers. He's sending you red tulips for some reason. And then I'm going to hand it over to you, Steve, for a moment, and I can come back.
Okay. Hey, I'm getting a real strong, someone is showing me a ruby ring, and that's my connection for July. So that's a birthday, death day, anniversary. I think it's going to be the center of July. So a couple of days on each side of the center. I'm also, someone is showing me the artist. I don't know if he was an artist. If you're the artist, somebody that was like a meditation for somebody. So if you're drawing, painting, doing something creative like that, that's a good thing. That's going to be your meditation. There's a couple of little gray dogs on the other side they're taking care of. And I don't know if these are schnauzers or little gray poodles, but they're little dogs like that. And there's a bunch of them, like 3 or 4. I also got the name Patrick. I don't know if someone's connected to him named Patrick or someone connected to you is named Patrick, but there's a Patrick connection also. And this person, when you're cooking in the kitchen, less fast food, go in the kitchen, because they hang out with you in the kitchen. They love the smell. Don't burn anything, for God's sakes. They love the smells. They love the cooking smells. I think that's where you're going to find happiness, in the kitchen. So start watching TikToks and YouTubes, try some new recipes, try cooking for some people. They really like that smell that's coming out of the kitchen for you.
She can take, just to give you feedback. She said, oh my God, yes, ruby ring with his mom's ashes. July is her birthday. And yes, he was an artist, German Shepherd in spirit. And she can take the name Patrick.
Good,
awesome.
good.
Awesome. Perfect. Jennifer, it's interesting because the way that he like comes in and offers encouragement. So I'm getting like a lot of emotions and attached to kind of how to help the home life and how to encourage the home life. Because it's almost like he's still like husband. Of course he is husband from the other side, but he's very involved within everything. That's what he's trying to say. He's like, my fingers in all the pots. Okay. With children, you, and he's like encouraging you. It's like, taxes have already happened, but you're looking at something with financial, you're looking at something like with payments, and you're trying to strategize something in that category. I know, because I just see all these pages and you're like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And he's asking you to get outside help. So he's encouraging that. And he's also kind of like going to whisper some ideas in your ears. Absolutely. Again, I'm seeing a 4-leaf clover now. Interesting.
And he's putting ideas in her head.
Yeah.
So just know that's the communication. Okay. You're not getting this out of randomness. They're giving you some great ideas in your head.
He's also saying you don't have to make sacrifices,
Right.
because I'm looking down at my wedding ring. Isn't that so interesting? I'm looking down at my wedding ring, and he's just talking about what's precious and what's valuable. And he's flashing a ring, and he's just saying you're not going to have to make sacrifices with the decisions that you make. He's just saying you're going to have help, but you have to go and ask for it and let people know that you need it. You'll get the proper help. So that just comes in for like finances, or like a bill you're working through, or a plan you're doing with the home. And you said, I heard him clairaudiently. Yes, I have his wedding ring on my necklace. That's amazing. Yes, but it's connected to like being kind of worried about having to make some sacrifices, is not knowing what to do with finances. So if you can take that, great. If not, okay. I just got to pass the message along. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to say to Jennifer?
Good. She's going to be okay. She's going to be okay.
All right. Lots of love to you, Jennifer. Lots of love. Okay. So let's go to, I'm going to ask you who you feel drawn to, and we will jump in again. Let's see. You have to put down the relationship, everybody. So like Michelle Krantz's dad, Stacia is dad, Karen is dad, Patty, my anniversary today, husband.
Go back to Stacia.
Okay.
Stacia. The red-headed lady?
Right here.
That's Stacia. There you go.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, quit.
All right.
Quit cussing so much, Stacia. Don't do as I do, Dad said. All right. You're not going to be able to, you can't cuss in heaven. So I'm just telling you.
Can they not?
Hey, he's a comedian too. He's living his life, and he lived his life to the fullest here. Okay. But he always saw the humor in things, I believe. Don't be so hard on yourself. Okay. Give yourself a little bit more credit. Have a little bit more fun. It's okay to have some fun. Whenever you're stuck, just think of the funniest stuff that you and Dad did, because he's a riot. Okay. He just loved laughing. He loved all the stuff. Evidently you have a sister too. And y'all used to get into the craziest binds, and he would just laugh so much about it. And y'all would be like, what are you laughing at? Okay. So just know he has if you look at every problem you have with the sense of humor your dad had, you're going to be okay. All right. He's telling me it's not rocket science. Okay. It's just not rocket science. I love this guy. We have alcohol on the other side, by the way. Okay. Now, I think when I drink my Budweiser, there's not going to be any alcohol actually in my beer. There's not going to be any caffeine but he's living his best life on the other side. There are creature comforts over there. Big lazy boy. He can be on the beach fishing, that kind of deal. He's living it. He's living his best life. He's getting to experience everything he didn't experience in this life. I'm also getting a military presence too. I think this guy may have been a veteran. So Veterans Day was Monday. So, salute the veterans in your family, because he is. What are you getting, Kelly?
Absolutely. She says, yes, Army. So with Stacia, I immediately get like his hands on her shoulders. So this is like a very comforting dad. This is a very I've taken my daughter in. I teach her, I nourish her. Very close relationship, and he's encouraging you because the military connection, everything. He traveled. He just was a man of multifacetedness. He would just try things, and the number one thing I got for Stacia is like he wanted her to take her own adventure, and she's done it, but he's like, it's not over. You gotta like get out there and do things and be in it. And he's encouraging her. And you said it's not rocket science, and I feel like that was something that he used to teach her so much, that Stacia is so thoughtful and like, thinks things through and stuff. And because I feel like he even taught her about like science. He really taught her about the way the world works. Like, he'd point to like the trees and be like, did you know this and this and that? And he'd give off some list. And he's just like, I was excited for life. I didn't overthink it. I don't want you to overthink it too. And she's like, yes, he did.
The training wheels are off. He's still around, but the training wheels are off. Hey, I got the name Paul connected to Stacia or Dad. And he likes someone wearing the Taylor Swift friendship bracelets. Okay, whoever's wearing the bracelets, he thinks really cool, and he loves the music you're listening to. So I don't know if this is Dad's old classic rock songs that you're listening to or whatever, but he loves the music.
I just feel like the rock has been playing. The rock and roll has been playing. Awesome. What did she say? Oh yes, Metallica. Metallica. Okay, that fits. He wants you to, so I keep seeing like you walking your dog. I don't know if you have dogs, but I keep seeing you out and about walking the dog. And so in a way you're like, well, I'm getting out and I'm loving life. And you're just like, well, I'm satisfied. And he's just like, yeah, but he's just like, there are little parts within your day where you go, huh. But since you're so satisfied, you don't really, care to look at that always. And he's just like, that will be blasted if you just do something a little bit unpredictable. Usually I have like people in the spirit world like telling somebody to, calm, think it through, plan it. And he's like, no, he wants you to be unpredictable. Like, and I feel like there's this memory of, you getting gumballs, like the big gumballs from a gumball machine. And he would just take you places, and he's like, here's a quarter, go do this. Let's go, let's try this ride. Let's talk to this person. Let's have lunch here. And he wants you to be unpredictable. And as a kid, that's where all the coolness was. So that's coming in, Stacia, if you can
very cool.
Yes,
I got a gumball machine in my house, and it has M&Ms in it. Yeah, and it's a quarter machine. So the granddaughter's always asking for quarters from me. Funny, you should bring that up.
Well, it's a great thing to be had. It really is. Oh, interesting. All of a sudden I got a flash of red. I'm not sure what that is, but ultimately, he's encouraging you also to, as well, if you can understand this comes in and he's mentioning it. He's mentioning a pie. Yes, Thanksgiving is coming up, but he's mentioning baking. Like there's some curiosity in baking, and it's been inspired by a loved one in spirit. And also you've been talking to friends kind of, and your friends are encouraging you or like happy to try your stuff. Like, what you've been dabbling in, and you're like, I'm making pies. Okay. All right, cool. You're making pies right now. Awesome. He wants you to like continue to just play around with that and have fun. And he's proud of you. He's like, it makes him feel like I know you're already a grown woman, but to him, he's like, you're his little girl. So he's like my little girl growing up and stuff. And being responsible. Isn't that so funny? He's encouraging you to be reckless, but he's really happy that you're responsible. So I guess he's acknowledging these both sides and both places to you, but he's really happy, and he knows that you've been thinking about, it's like grandma, I'm pretty sure, like inspiring this cooking. So he's like, thank you for keeping the memories alive. He says that, and other things that you're baking to as well, not only the pies. So okay,
great.
Right. Let's do one really quick one then,
Okay.
and then we will give people our love, unless you're really, and she says yes. Okay, And Jennifer is awesome. McCormick, she says she was understanding what we gave her. She says, yes, I can take all of this. Thank you. So she was thanking us from up top. So thank you. Thank you. All right. So wherever you are led, Steve, Jennifer, another Jennifer, best friends, Kathleen, dad, let's see here, Jesse, grandma, friend, you'd have to let us know the relationship, but Misty, dad or uncle.
Go with
Roseanne,
Misty. Go with Misty.
Misty, dad or uncle. Okay. All right. So with dad or coming on in, I do feel like if you can understand Misty, let us know if you are with us. I'm just scrolling just to making sure you say open for reading. Misty, let us know if you are with us. But I'm getting somebody who's like a straight shooter, a little bit more serious. This is somebody who would have been a little bit more stern. Okay, are you with us? And let us know. Thank you for being with us. Let us know you can understand what we're talking and communicating with your father. So this is somebody who's a little bit like more stern, a little bit more serious, like I said, and someone who is more practical. Sometimes he'll surprise you though, where like, how can I put it? There are times in life where he would go and do what he needed to do for himself. So you'd be like, oh, dad plays by these rules, but sometimes he doesn't follow his own. Okay. And you said, will do. Thank you. And so that kind of gave you if you can understand this early on in life, it gave you kind of this understanding that dad is not just what he seems. Dad is not just what he seems. So if you can understand this as coming on in, he wants to also like, can you understand that you had multiple siblings? So I'm feeling like sisters. If you can understand this, more than one sister, let me know, Misty, if we are in the energy. And then Steve, let me know what you're getting to as
Okay.
well.
I don't know who has the long hair. Who's the woman with the long hair? For God's sakes, don't cut it. So someone in your circle is talking about cutting their long hair. He goes, no, keep it. Okay. Throw all the gray and black stuff out of your closet. You need to wear a lot more colors. So the blues, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the more colorful stuff. I don't know if you got a lot of gray stuff. He's commenting on more color. Hey, there's a story with the tank top. So I don't know if you have a picture of your uncle or your dad in the tank top, or the picture is of you of the tank top, or he brought up the tank top story. Also, there's a group of women that you got to let go of the black, darling. More color in your life. He's talking about there's a group of girls. So I don't know if y'all are being therapists for each other, like you got a support group. I don't know if this is your sisters, like she was talking about, Kelly's talking about, or whatever, but you be there for the other women in your life. So let them bounce stuff off of you and give them your true feelings. So y'all play therapists for each other. Okay. And help solve each other's problems. Evidently they're having a hell of a time together. Hey, there's a motorcycle on the other side to boot. I don't know if that's uncles or dads, but one of them's riding the bike.
So if you can take that with uncle riding the bike, and so like with sisters, and you're talking about like encouragement of women, I feel like if you can understand this, and yes, my dad's motorcycle, I think so, it's her dad's motorcycle. If you can understand, so like dad had different parts to him. He was very practical, but yet he like did, again, I feel like he's like a bigger personality, or does just what he wants to do in terms of himself, but not as a father. And I feel like mom was like really quiet, if you can understand too. So it's like kind of like this lesson through like your mom, and as a woman, not being afraid to live outside of just like the confines or the personality that you think that you should operate under, and not being afraid to like be bold and step out, and really kind of like taking in what your father was too, and knowing he had many different sides to himself too. It's kind of just like this if you can understand this, Misty, there's like this feeling of, I'm not sure how I want to approach life. When I try, it doesn't always go the way that I want it to. So I kind of like make myself small, or I get like a little bit confused. And your dad was just saying, like, look, I was always figuring it out too. Okay. Like I was always figuring it out too. And you said he was very hard to understand. And I feel like it's because he didn't show you like who he was as a father. You'd have to look outside him being a father to actually see who he truly was. So there's all these parts that you didn't get to see activated. And with mom, you didn't get to see that too. So it's kind of like being really confident and coming into your life and saying, I have to find these parts of myself, and no one has it figured out. And to heck with life. Like, let's just kind of figure it out as I go. And you're saying not a very emotional person. Again, it's the serious, the sternness, the practicality. But I feel like if you saw him maybe with uncle, his brother, if you saw him with his friends ever, if you can remember certain memories, this would have been a man that would have had a beer in his hand. He would have maybe not been the loudest guy at the party, but he'd be laughing, and he'd be engaged, and he'd be doing his own thing with his own style and his own personality, where it wasn't just quiet and serious all the time.
Hey, Dad likes my mustache. So I don't know if Dad or Uncle had a mustache, or there's someone in your life with a mustache, but he likes mine, and he likes mustaches. And one last thing, you need to get some horse energy in your life. Go pet some horses, go on a trail ride, go visit the horse ranch. I don't know if y'all rode together or gave you horse riding lessons or whatever, but there's a horse energy in there too.
Dad had a mustache, you said.
Right.
Okay.
He loves mine.
He's saluting you. He's saluting you. But like mom quiet, he's more quiet. He's saying you don't have to be that way unless you want to be. You can be anything that you want to be. So he gives you encouragement. Yeah. Nothing at all with horses, not sure. Well, I saw the horse too. I saw him kind of like slapping the back of a horse and saying, let's go, you know what I mean? So it's the energy of like, come on, let's go. Like, just ride, just get out there and go. And I just feel that because, we overthink a lot of things in life, and we sometimes we don't have the best examples and points of reference. And that's what he's continuing to come in and say, I didn't give you examples. I didn't give you points of reference, but I still figured things out, even though I sometimes still was quiet, even though I sometimes didn't come out of my shell. I still kind of figured things out and lived my life, and you'd be surprised the things that I did. Okay. And so again, I've just, smoke, drink, travel. He got out. Okay. And this was more so when he was younger than he was older. He's like, can you offer up anything on my relationship status? He wants you to stand up for yourself. That's for sure. He's just saying you have to not make yourself small. And that's a default we have sometimes. Sometimes we're just like, well, I'm just living life. And it's like, no, we want something different. And yet we go, I don't know how I can do that. Or when I'm around this person, I don't know how I can achieve that. And he's just saying, I want you to stand up for yourself. And the more you do that, you'll make space for what you want, even if you don't know what you're doing. Giddy up, girl. That's the energy. Giddy up. Get out of there.
Great. Feels good.
Feels good. So, Misty, if you can understand that, thank you for being with us and letting us connect to your life and your father. We really do consider it an honor to connect to your loved ones. With that said, Steve, I know it went by like, oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It was like we're here for 5 minutes.
New York Minute.
Exactly. It's a good thing. That's a very good thing. We'll be back with love, everybody. In the meantime, I just want to make sure that people can find you. If you want to go find Steve for a reading, it's thecowboypsychic.com.
Or
It's in
stevespur.com. I got videos on YouTube. Check it out. Go to my web space, and it'll just kind of tell you what I believe in and where you're going. So love to hear from you.
Absolutely. The link is down to take you to his site, and also you can find him on the many platforms too as well. Is there anything you'd like to leave everyone with? I always give the guests, you're saying no, but
you're doing, just know everybody's doing better than what you think you are. Okay. I promise you. Okay. If your guides could tell you something right now, hang in there, baby. You're doing better than what you think you are.
Exactly. We're all slinging it, and we're doing way better than what we'd expect. Jennifer Rose is giving some love. Jennifer and Misty are saying thank you. And Misty says, I had the pleasure of going to see Steve for a reading pre-COVID. So, she gives you a shout out. She says it was great.
All right. I've given at least one good reading in my life.
I think more than that. Remember, we're doing better than we think.
We're doing better than we think.
Take our own advice. With that said, everybody take your own advice and keep going. Life is meant to be experienced. I will see you back on the Psychic Hour on Friday. And also you can join Jennifer for her show on Friday too as well at 11 a.m. and our guest is Shannon Rattay. With that said, please go with love, light, luck, and don't forget to live. Take care, everybody, and thank you again, Steve.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.